Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I've Got Next. Today I have So Litty Candle. This is a special recording because this is the first one that's on site. So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your company.
Okay. So my name is Ashley. I am originally from California. I've moved here to Atlanta, Georgia about 4 years ago with my two sons. So I'm a mom. I work full time. I'm also a business owner as well. So Litty Candles. And I moved here just for more opportunity. Really wanted to get back into entrepreneurship and also get into home ownership and things like that. So that's what brought me to Atlanta. I am the owner of Litty Candles. I have my own soy based candle business. I make soy candles. I make room sprays, wax melts, incense. I do custom candles. And I have so many other things that's behind the scenes that I haven't introduced, but I also have like the body type candles. That's going to be something I've been working on just to promote more body positivity and things like that. Um, and yeah, I've been in business for about 3 years now, coming up in July. So we'll be celebrating the anniversary coming soon.
Okay, perfect. So you gave us a lot, so we're gonna break a little bit
I'm
down.
sorry.
Okay, no problem. No, that's what we need. That's what we need. Okay, so you said you moved here. How long have you been doing the candles? Well, let's start with how long have you been in the candles, and then let's say how did you I almost start my own? How did that work about?
So I've been making candles. As far as business, I launched So Litty 3 years ago.
Okay.
In July, it'll be 3 years. I started making candles maybe about 3 to 4 months prior to that. And it kind of came about just like a lot of other business owners that experienced the pandemic and started up during that time. I was working at CarMax at the time. And when I got the phone call about my kids having to come home and they were shutting down the schools, just like most parents, right up. Oh, that was a phone call. I was home. So I ended up having to take personal leave from my job at the time. Wasn't going to be getting paid. And I really was just in a space of like, maybe this is the time for me to actually go ahead and move forward with something else that I wanted to do. Now, candles was not the business that I was actually going to open. However, just from me having that time at home, I was sitting at home and I was just trying to figure out like what is something that can kind of boost my spirits at this time. Cause I really was like, I just moved here. Like we just got settled and now this is happening. So I I'm very big on my space and creating a very comfortable aura. So I went online to see if I could buy some candles because I know candles make a big difference in my space and how I'm feeling and my energy. And as I was looking for candles, it came to my mind. It was like, what if you just make some candles? Can I make some candles? Started looking up supplies, went on to YouTube, started watching a couple of different videos. And I'm very much the type of person, I'm very hands on. So if I see it and I can envision myself being able to do it, I know that I can do it. So me
Okay.
watching those videos was like, well, let's just order a couple things and let's just try it out and see what we can do. So that prompted me to order supplies. I gave myself a $200 budget. I ordered jars. I ordered essential oils. I ordered wax just from other candle makers and what they were recommending. And once my supplies came in, I took about 3 to 4 months just playing around with the candles. I made so many fails. I learned about wicks. I learned about different waxes. And I just really educated myself, the hands on, took the time to actually figure out how can I perfect this because I liked it. I really was like, you know what, this is something I actually like. It was very soothing, just making the candles, would turn some music on, block my kids out, and just make candles. And I end up sending some to family and friends, some in California, some in New York, some in Alabama, Georgia, just in different regions because I wanted to get their opinion. What do you guys think? And once I started getting different opinions back, I sat down, I started creating labels, and like the whole creative bug just started flowing from that point. And I finally was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put this out. I think I got something special here, and I know what I'm doing. I've created the perfect candle to how I felt was the perfect candle of what I wanted out of a candle, and that's pretty much how it got started.
Okay. Okay. In that, I want to ask you about this because I'm also a father,
Hmm.
also have a 9 to 5, also have a business. Actually, I have a couple businesses like you also.
Hmm.
How do you balance?
Ooh.
Because this is the question I get all the time. Because I
Yes.
work 2 or 3 contracts at the same time. So how do you balance?
Yes, it's hard. I will say I've learned. So my initial balance at the time was just no balance. I just do. I'm just gonna be honest. At that time, it was just very much you just going to have to do. But once I did get back into, because eventually after I started the business, my job wanted me to come back. But because of everything that was still going on, and I did not have anywhere for my kids to really go like that, I told him I could not come back. So at that point, it was now you're just full on entrepreneur. So I had some good time. I had time there, but when I eventually did have to get back into a 9 to 5, I had to learn to lean on my support system and to be open. I'm not very much the type of person that will ask for help, so I had to learn to start asking for help. Recently, I've been finding myself with a much better balance just coming into this year because I've gotten back into scheduling things because my kids, they play all type of sports. Now they're back in school like most of the kids, so
Mhm.
of course having to take them here and there and then still prepare myself to do shows and still make candles and things. So I pretty much created it like a schedule for
Okay.
myself that keeps me on track so that way I'm not all over the place because like I said there was no balance. It was just doing, and however the outcome was, it just what it was.
Okay. Completely. I think that's all of our stories to start off with.
Mhm.
Oh, I got to do everything myself. I don't need no help. I don't need this. And then you're like,
Mhm.
I've been up for 3 days. I can't
Right.
sleep. I'm not eating properly. I
Yes.
don't feel good. And then
Mhm.
it's like,
I'm being mean to the kids.
what can I do to make it better? So I
Yeah.
completely understand. Okay. So let's get back into the candles. No, before then,
Mhm.
okay, we just talked about balance. What do you do? Like, how is your mental health, and what do you do when you know that you're a little bit off?
Recently I will say because I change up. I'm one of those people. I'm always looking for ways to continue to evolve, and if something is not working for me, I sit back with myself. I kind of step away from any and everything, sit with myself and say, okay, how can we reevaluate this to get ourselves a better mental balance? So recently, I more so I got back into meditation. I will say that
Okay.
meditation, prayer, and I started being a little bit more vulnerable with the people that are in my life. When I'm having moments of saying, you know what, I'm overwhelmed. That's something I never would tell nobody out loud. I would sit with myself. I scream to God, I'm so overwhelmed. Now I'm actually being more vocal so that way I can get the support that I need. If I need to take a day, I'll take a day. Can't take too many days. But I always say, a friend of mine used to tell me that. She used to say, you know, sometimes you may just need a day. And it's okay to take that day. If that means that you just need to sit in your bed and cry or whatever the case is, then you have to do so. Just don't take too many days. So I will take
Yes.
a day if needed for my own mental health. I'll take a day off of work, still send my kids to school. I may just sit in the house all day, or I may take myself to lunch. I just look for different things that are going to make me feel good and pull myself out. I'm very self aware. So I know when I'm seeping into depression, which is why I don't allow myself to have too many days.
Hmm.
I don't allow myself to lay in the bed too long because then I know what that's going to bring. So just a lot of self awareness, leaning again on my support system, taking the days when I need to without feeling bad, whether that's a day of me spending it with somebody that's very close to me or just taking that day to spend it by myself.
Now let's get back into the business.
Mhm.
um, so you started this in 2020.
Yes.
You talked a little bit about, you didn't say it, but you talked about market research.
Hmm.
You sent it to people, New York, you said Alabama, Georgia, California. What kind of feedback did you get back at first? Because you know how you think, okay, this is perfect. This is what I want.
Yes.
What was the feedback and how did you take it?
I'll be honest, the feedback that I got was not what I expected. I feel like everybody got their candles and was like, oh, thank you, Ashley. The labels are so cute. The candles smell good. And that was it. It was it. nobody, nobody. And I had explained to everyone, I had even put in their notes, like, you know, burn the candle. Tell me how it burns. So I did a couple of people. I'll say that because I sent out about maybe 10 packages. So I'll say at least 2 out of that was, like, hey, this is how I feel about it. I had a good friend that my best friend actually lives out here, one of my best friends. And so I was able to just hand deliver, and she kind of seen the whole process in
Mhm.
general. So her and her mom was a very big support in, hey, they're burning good. I put it in this room and I was able to smell it really good. Then I had another friend who said, hey, me and my wife love the candle, but we do not like the fact that it burns our jars. We also don't like the fact, like, he actually saved one of the candles where the wicks I was using at the time were doing like what they call a self trim. So it breaks off on its own, and it was going into the candle. So it put like black little specks into the
Gotcha.
candle.
Gotcha.
So it was definitely 2 to 3 people gave me some good feedback. But for the most part, it was just, hey, you got this, girl, go. And I was like, okay, what else?
Right. Got you.
Yeah,
Got
but
you.
it was still valuable feedback.